Hello viewers, I'm SB and this is BattleTech. Check it out, the whole season pass is out. So, we've played BattleTech a couple of times on the channel before, but that was before even the Urban Warfare expansion. So we have 2 expansions worth of new giant robots and new guns with which to shoot at giant robots, and frankly, I haven't blown up a giant robot in a little while and I'm starting to get the itch. So if you've never seen BattleTech before, don't worry, you will not be left behind. Honestly, the game's not all that complicated, it is certainly explainable. So let's get in here and start a new career. Now, when we did a career mode last time, what we discovered is that the length of a career mode game and the length of the mechanical arc of the game are very different. A career mode is 1,200 days long, but you effectively max out your company at like day 500, and then it's a lot of flying around while not progressing. So we're going to make some changes here on the difficulty settings screen to try to alleviate that, to try to bring those two things a little closer together. Also, with the default settings, you have a score multiplier of 0.75, and obviously that will never do. So here's my plan. We're going to turn up the number of parts needed for mech assembly up to 5. This means that when we're salvaging mech bodies off of the field, we need almost twice as many parts as we used to put together a new mech. This is really going to slow us down, hopefully in a way that doesn't make the series boring. One thing that it's going to do for us is it's going to make individual mechs way more valuable because they're harder to put together. So I think that, combined with the fact that we're going to play with mech destruction, should lead to some interesting drama. Mech destruction is whenever a mech is disabled by the destruction of its center torso, it is just scrap. We cannot recover it at all. This is probably going to lead to a couple of mechs dying due to bad luck, and that'll be a real shame when it happens, but it'll probably at least be entertaining. And it'll make us, again, care about each individual mech so much more. And then we're also going to slow down Mech Warrior progression, which is the XP, the amount of XP that our characters get from missions. And I think these settings should put us in a place where we're not advancing too slowly, but we also won't cap out super early in the campaign. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, I do have to... I'm going to go ahead and do some of our character setup off screen, because I have no idea what my plan is for that. So I'll see you guys in a second. Alright, this is what I've come up with. Our company commander is Large John Corpsington. On his 16th birthday, he and his family were slain in a freak thresher accident. Nobody knows why the thresher was on the freeway, nor how it got going so fast. But he and his family were killed, and yet, somehow, he walks. Or at least that's the story he likes to tell everybody. Does anybody actually believe this man's a zombie? I don't know, man. Does it really matter? The important thing is he has giant robots, and he can blow stuff up. And that means you get to make your own reality, in a certain way. So, we have everything an industrious mercenary commander could want. A crew of talented misfits, a lance of ancient battle mechs, and a derelict cargo ship to call home. It's one thing to finish a mission in one piece, more or less, but it's another to keep your mech warriors happy and healthy, your mechs patched up and ready for action, and your balance sheet firmly in the black. As the rumors of another war of succession intensify, the Mercenary Review Board announces new evaluation protocols to assess the mercenary companies of the periphery, with a score. And so, that score is our objective here. We have 1,200 days, and at the end of that time, we will receive a score. You can see here, we receive points for all kinds of different things. And it looks like they've done a little bit of a rework on this. It's a little bit more clear graphically. And we'll talk about these at some point in the future. For now, let's go blow some robots up. You know, the BattleTech stuff. So let's swing by the mech bay here and see what they've given us to start with. A Centurion 9A, in fact 2 Centurion 9As. Ideally outfitted with an AC-10, which is a great big cannon, and a couple of medium laser batteries, as well as a long-range missile launcher that fires 10 missiles at a time. We have a Jenner 7D with just a bunch of medium lasers mostly. It also has a missile launcher on it. A Jenner is a very fast-moving scout-type mech. A Firestarter, which, true to its name, has a bunch of flamethrowers on it. Flamethrowers do functionally no damage to our large metal enemies, but they do cause a lot of heat, which can sometimes be very valuable. And finally, an Urban Mech, which I'm not super familiar with. It has An AC-10. Okay, so it's a tiny mech that's using almost all of its weight capacity to hold just a big autocannon. Honestly, that seems like a fine build to me. So, let's also have a quick look at our crew. We have a number of pilots in our employ at the beginning here.
Ready to rock.
Crackle, Steamfitter, which is a hell of a name.
Reporting.
Steamfitter is statted identically to our character, which is weird.
Waiting for orders.
Oddval Neelam is a walking tire fire, and finally Trampoline. Who named you guys?
Commander?
It was probably returned. It was probably Large John Corpsington. This is all his fault. Alright, let's go find a contract. Our buddy Darius here has been talking to the people on the planet that we're orbiting, and finding things that they might need a bunch of giant robots to come in and do for them. You might be surprised to find out that almost all of these missions are going to involve us blowing things up in one way or another. Looks like we're in Arano territory, so these missions are going to be pretty straightforward. So if we do jobs for the Arano restoration, we'll gain reputation with them. We want to have a positive reputation with lots of forces, lots of people, because positive faction reputation is one of your scoring objectives. We also could do jobs for the local pirates, which will potentially, if we do enough work for them, give us access to the black market, which could be kind of a big deal. So let's maybe think about this. After a recent skirmish with our forces, the surviving units of a Capellan lance escaped the battlefield. We believe they've managed to partially repair their mechs, and that means they're a loose end that the local pirate organization would like to see tied off, permanently. Track these survivors down and finish them for good. Yeah, that sounds like the sort of thing we could get up to. So it's a battle-type mission in a lowland climb. The climate matters a lot. Heat management is a pretty big part of the game. So when negotiating with the people who give us contracts, we can ask for more or less payment and salvage. If we reduce the amount we're asking for, we get more reputation with them. Also, we can fiddle with these balances a little bit. You can see here there's a limit to what we can ask for. But I think what we want to be doing right now is negotiating as many pieces of priority salvage as we can. So the salvage value here, 2/9, means we get to pick 2 of the pieces of salvage first. Then the pirates get to take whatever else they want, as long as they leave us with 9 pieces in total. So I think this is how we'll run this. Let's get down there and cause some havoc. Alright, it feels like we probably want to bring both of our Centurions. Big is valuable. It's a good solid rule for giant robots. These guys are fairly tough. They have a decent amount of armor. The structure bar here indicates how damaged the robot actually is. The armor is free to repair and instant to repair between battles, but if a mech takes structure damage, we're going to have a bigger problem on our hands. And these just seem like good, versatile mechs. And then, as backup, we'll bring in the Jenner. Jenner is very fast, good for scouting. And in the other slot, we're going to have to bring a pretty light, pretty weak mech that intends to fight up close. It's always a danger. Honestly, the Urban Mech is pretty impressive for a mech that's only 30 tons. That's a fair amount of armor and structure. It's actually about as tough as the 35-ton Firestarter, but it's way better at killing people. What the Firestarter can do, though, is shut enemies down by overheating them. I'm not actually 100% certain what I like better. Firestarter's a lot faster. You know what? We'll bring this thing this time. And we just need to jam some pilots in here. All of our pilots are approximately equal at this moment. It doesn't really matter who we put where. Steamfitter can go in one of those. You can go in one of these. We'll talk about what the stats actually do a little bit later, once we've got some XP and they matter a little bit more. So you can see here, faster mechs, lighter mechs are represented as faster in 2 different ways. They can generally move a larger number of spaces in battle, but they also have a higher initiative value, which means they act earlier in the turn. We'll get to fiddle with the initiative system and stuff. I'm eager to just get us in here and start blowing things up. For right now, we're playing with the combat animations on normal speed, so that we can get the full cinematic majesty of all of the giant robot combat. At some point, we'll probably turn it up to fast mode, because there's going to be a whole lot of fighting in this campaign, and we can save valuable human Earth minutes. What does Darius have to say about this job? A partial lance of damaged mechs doesn't sound too bad, Commander. If we're able to bring them down mostly intact, this could mean excellent salvage opportunities, maybe. We'll see. We're not going to be able to pull any valuable salvage from this job, I suspect. The one skull difficulty indicates that probably the enemies are going to be pretty small and crappy. Alright, this is the last known position of the enemy lance. Advance and get eyes on. Let's see how badly damaged they really are. Alright, let's do the thing.
Find much in the way of entertainment here.
Wow, that's a truly terrible voice. We need to mute Steamfitter. Just turn off the thing in his mech. Alright. So we're headed up there. BattleTech is a turn-based strategy combat game. However, we're only sort of in turns right now. Things will go into real combat once we make contact with the enemy. This is what I was about to say. So we're going to run the Jenner and the Firestarter up as far as possible, but I want them to be in these cover positions here. So you can see the trees provide a little bit of cover, and movement provides these charges of evasion. Evasion makes you harder to hit, simulating that it's harder to hit a target that's moving really fast.
Sensors have something.
So now that we're properly in combat, we're going to take turns with the enemy, and the way the turns are set up is this initiative bar up here. So you can see we have 2 mechs that are on the 4th initiative, and 2 mechs that are on the 3rd initiative. All of the mechs that are initiative 5 go first, then all the 4s take turns, then all the 3s take turns, etc. So let's have the Jenner move up first. We're going to try to move to a position where we have some cover. Ooh, there's not a lot of cover available. Here, we'll move up here so that whatever's over there can't see us. And let's get vision on this guy. So you can see, the further we move, the more evasion we get.
Got it.
There's the terrain here for cover. So what have we found? We've got ourselves a javelin. Hey, that's a kind of mech I'm not familiar with. Also, we saw briefly there, I think that was a medium of some kind. And we've got another signature up on the hill. The Javelin has a pair of short-range missile launchers, and SRM-6 is a pretty dangerous weapon, actually. It's capable of doing a lot of damage. This guy he has 3 evasion pips, and he also has guarded, because he didn't fire. He was able to just brace himself. And he's entrenched, and he has crummy armor. That's true, his armor is in terrible shape. You can see the bar's only half full. Let's go ahead and open fire. Odds of a hit are pretty bad here. So each one of our weapons down in the corner can be toggled on or off. They each have their own hit percentages based on, like, the range, how much the target moved, how big the target is, where the weapon is mounted. Weapons that are mounted on the arm are easier to aim than weapons that are mounted on the torso. And then over here you can see our heat bar. When we fire these things, they're going to generate a certain amount of heat, and after we fire all this stuff and then the Jenner vents heat for the turn, we'll have this much left. If you get the heat past this little mark, your mech overheats really badly and starts to take structural damage. The metal starts bending. If you get the bar completely full, the mech has to shut down and just do nothing but vent until you're clear again.
Commencing Alpha Strike.
Alright, really impressive. I think we missed with everything except the one laser. But the laser that did hit center, which is a pretty good place for it to land. Alright, the Firestarter is going to be in a kind of a similarly crummy position. We can move the Firestarter up here and at least remain in cover. You can see, though, from this position, the medium lasers have a pretty poor shot, and none of our other weapons are even in range. This thing is really, really short-ranged. We have the option of standing in the water down here. Submerging your mech partially in the water does give you better heat reduction. I think we're just going to move up to this cover position here. The Firestarter's fast enough that it'll probably be able to close to a dangerous range next turn. And we may as well fire twice. You can see here, the heat sinking of this mech is great enough that 2 medium lasers won't even leave any heat on it. Yeah, we mostly hit the hillside. No big surprise there. But notice, every time we shoot at an enemy mech, we remove 1 evasion charge. Sort of simulating, if you fire enough times at something, you're gonna hit it eventually. Alright, So they got a Wolverine up on the hill, which has some weapons. Oh, jeez. Just took the took the left arm off the Jenner immediately, huh? That's pretty bad for us. Yeah, this thing has some serious weapon systems. That large laser does 40 damage on a direct hit. But now we get to bring in our larger, more dangerous mechs, and these guys really are a lot more dangerous. So because the Wolverine chose to fire on its turn, it doesn't get the benefit of being guarded. It doesn't have that damage reduction, and I think we might just have both of our guys run up and open up on that thing. Yeah, it's a little bit larger, so it's easier to hit. We're probably going to... A fair number of our shots are going to miss the Javelin. I think we just go straight for it. I'm really worried about our Jenner, but I think taking this thing down is important. So unfortunately, the weapon systems are a little bit difficult to control. What else do they got over here? A Vulcan. There's a bunch of mechs I'm not familiar with. Alright, so they fired a flamethrower at us. The Jenner is taking a little bit more heat. Not a lot more actual damage, but it's still pretty bad.
What's the plan?
I'm hoping that with the Centurions out in the open like this, they'll be a little bit more attractive as a target. The Jenner really cannot take a whole lot more punishment. Okay, Wolverine with no evasion charges, just standing out in the open, is a pretty easy shot.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, wow, that was exceedingly lucky. The autocannon
Go down.
hit the cockpit of the mech and just blew it completely off. So the different areas of the mech have their own armor and structure values. Oh god. The Jenner's other arm is almost gone.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
Let's talk about the Jenner here. the mech's different body parts have their own armor and structure values. When a section structure goes to 0, like this arms did, it falls off, and any systems that are on it go with it. In addition, there could be some other unfortunate knock-on effects, like if you lose your right torso section, your right arm falls off with it, or if you lose a leg, your mech goes down. Right now, we don't have a lot of control over how our guys are targeting, but later on in the campaign, once our pilots are a little bit better at their job, we'll be able to try to target individual parts of the enemy mechs. I'm really worried here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to move into the trees, and we're going to orient the Jenner like this. We're going to do something that's maybe a little bit dangerous. So we're turning the Jenner so that its left side is facing the larger mech. You can see down here, every time you shoot at a mech, you are shooting at it from either the front, the back, the left side, or the right side, and that indicates what body parts you can hit, as in like this red line here. You can't shoot the left arm from the right side. We're trying to make it so that the Jenner is less likely to lose its other arm, because I want to try to hold on to those lasers. We don't have a lot of spare weapons right now, and every laser that gets blown up in combat is a serious problem for us. We also have over here this resolve bar. We gain a little bit of resolve each round, and we also gain a significant resolve boost when we kill an enemy. Right now we have 40 resolve, which is enough for us to cash some in to do a special ability here. So we're going to go for a precision strike on the Vulcan. Precision strike does three important things, sorry. Number one, it makes your weapons way more accurate. Number two, it lets you actually select a target area. And number three, it lowers the initiative value of the enemy mech by 1 for the turn. So what I'm doing here is I'm dropping his initiative to 2 so both of our mediums get to act before he does, in the hopes of just blowing him all the way the hell up. He has a CQC suite in his center torso. I don't know what that does. I mean, we could take a guess, but I've never seen that component before. Well, oh, he's storing machine gun ammo in the left torso. That's interesting. Ammo bins have a tendency to explode when they take damage. Maybe let's aim for that left torso. Let's see if we can touch off that ammo. Okay, we managed to open up the armor on both sides of the torso.
I hear you.
Trampoline can run pretty far forward, but not far enough to hit that guy with any of the close range weapons. So I think I would rather run up here and just belt this guy with absolutely everything. Rather than just firing 2 medium lasers at that dude. We probably want to make sure we're getting as much... Actually, this is a good place for the fire starter to go. This still gives us the good close shot, but it means we're not actually in the line of fire from the Vulcan. We want these little mechs to be a little bit safer. Alright, and now that we have close range, let's just give him everything. Okay, that was a ton of heat that we added to him. We didn't get a ton done there, but you could see we opened up the leg, and so we were able to damage the components inside of it. So one of his jump jets is shot. That's going to reduce his mobility pretty considerably.
How might I help?
And the Centurion steam fitter's voice is so bad. Centurions are just going to keep moving in. So you'll notice that the AC-10 doesn't actually have a very good shot. The colored regions in the firing cone here indicate the range of our weapons. An AC-10 is a more of a long-range type thing. We actually want to... Oh no, sorry, the AC-10s, that's right. Lower numbers are long range. Higher numbers are shorter range. So we want to get as close as possible with that thing. The LRMs, however, at this range, are suffering from being too close to their intended target. If we take one step further back, we lose a little bit of accuracy on the AC-10, but we get a lot more on the missiles. I think this is the shot we want.
Have no doubt it will be done.
What a weird choice they've made with this with this voice actor and performance. Okay, we managed to hit that torso section that was all messed up. So when you shoot a mech on a side where it's missing components, if you're shooting like any damage that would hit the left arm when the left arm is gone, instead goes to the left torso. If the left torso is gone, the damage goes into the center. If you shoot at a leg, but that leg's missing, the damage goes into the center. So what we really want to do is put this Centurion in a place where we're shooting at his side quadrant here. Unfortunately... Okay, here we go. Yeah, we want to be shooting there because there are so many hit locations here that translate into... Of the 3 available hit locations, 2 of them translate into center torso damage. We might actually be able to kill him here if we get a little bit lucky. Alright, we did in fact get a little bit lucky. It turns out that AC-10 is not a joke. 60 damage is a tremendous amount, especially for the early game. So now all they have is this one mech shooting at things that are much larger and better armored, and without the ability to use all of its weapon systems for fear of overheating. And I think we're just going to exacerbate that issue really quickly here.
This should be good. When I shoot you, you'll take it and like it.
Our whole crew is so weird.
Commander?
These are the people who are willing to follow a guy who insists that he's a zombie, I guess.
Affirmative.
Alright, well that was easy. That was maybe too easy. Maybe we should just skip right up over one skull missions. And we took some meaningful damage there. One thing I really like about the BattleTech combat system is the way that fights are so attrition-based. It's very rarely the case that you get out of a battle totally cleanly. You're always trading blows, you're always losing stuff and gaining stuff. Well, that went well. Real well. Seems like we did the right thing calling you in, mercenary. Alright, I want the pirates to like us. We're gonna get in solid with the black market. So damage overall not too bad. No injured pilots or anything. We just gotta get a new arm on that Jenner. And since we popped the Wolverine's head clean off, that left a significant number of portions of it. So we're gonna take 2 bits of Wolverine. I would love to put a Wolverine together. 55-ton mech would be a real blessing for our crew here. Yeah, okay, confirm. They also gave us a piece of the Javelin. They gave us this flamethrower, some medium lasers. That's good, we need those. An SRM ammo bin and an SRM to use it. Okay, pretty straightforward. So let's go look at the mech bay. Let's survey the damage to this Jenner. We're going to have to put a whole new arm on it, and then we're going to have to plug in some weapons to that arm. I think we probably will just leave it as a... leave it with the weapon loadout that it had, which means we'll take those 2 medium lasers we just got and just shove them right in there. But unfortunately, it's going to take time to repair it. Time and money. We have plenty of money for the moment. Alright, let's refit this guy. So, obviously, repair all the damage, and then just jam 2 medium lasers in there, just like they were. So you can see we can adjust the armor on the front and back of each individual section of the mech. We have to stay under a certain weight limit. Each chassis can only carry a certain amount of weight worth of gear. But we could fiddle with things, we can move stuff around. I think I'm fine leaving it approximately how it is. So this repair is going to take 8 days. It's going to be all that our mech repair team can do for 8 entire days. We can make our mech team a little bit more effective by increasing our mech tech rating, and we'll pick up lots of upgrades to this over the course of the adventure. Those are going to be a real high priority. Similarly, we have a medical team that generates medical points that are used to heal damaged pilots. It's a very similar system. But for the moment, we still have 4 functional mechs, so let's get out there and do another job. Let's go work for the pirates some more if we can. So the only other pirate jobs are Half Skull. Let's see, we've been tracking a Capellan lance moving through a contested area on the planet's surface. A few hours ago, our scouts reported another lance of unknown allegiance on an intercept course. We suspect a fight is brewing, and we'd like you to act as a spoiler. Blow up the Capellans, and also the unknown ambushers, just everybody, just nuke everybody. I could do that. There is only 1 mission left here that has decent payout. It's another 2 skull, and it's working for the Arano Restoration against the Taurian Concordat. That's fine, we could do that. Let's do that right now, while our team is still relatively healthy. So what is the actual text of this job? A lance of Taurian battle mechs has been rampaging in Restoration territory on Panzer. They've been razing population centers, burning fields and refineries, and looting storage facilities. Clearly doing everything they can think of to drive our people out. This is terrorism, pure and simple. Find them and destroy them. Alright, shoot to kill. Hey, we know how to do that. So again, I'm just gonna adjust our salvage for the most priority salvage we can get. At this point, finding better weapon systems and putting together new mechs is like priority number 1. We're going to need money. We have to pay our people every month, and there's going to be expensive upgrades to our robots and our ship. But for the moment, we're okay. So we're going to throw an urban mech in here, and I think we're just going to use the same 4 pilots. Let's try to build up an A-team as quickly as we can here. This is a desert biome mission, which means that it's going to be considerably hotter. We're going to have a lot harder time sinking heat, so we're going to have to watch our heat gauges a lot more carefully. That said, it doesn't seem like our mechs run super hot except for the Jenner. Weirdly, using a flamethrower doesn't really actually generate that much heat on your own mech. I guess mostly what you're doing is you're like flinging napalm, right? And the napalm gets lit outside. It's not hot while you have it. This does seem like it's going to be a pretty simple one, but it'll be a good introduction to how much of an effect the biome can have on a battle. Fighting in a desert is rough. Fighting in a place with like no atmosphere, so you have no air to leach the heat out, is even rougher. It's going to be a stand-up fight. Your lance against the opposing forces, and also some other guys, apparently. Alright, move in, clear them out. I do love to blow up a giant robot.
As you wish.
So when you're outside combat, your mechs sprint by default. Basically like a double move that denies you the ability to shoot and the ability to brace. That's a thing we can do in combat, although I don't know, it's not terribly useful a lot of the time. Usually, you want to be able to shoot people. We'll see plenty of opportunities for it, though, I'm sure. Let's have the fire starter go first here. I want to try to get up on the hill and see if we can get any information here. Alright. Got a contact over there. No reading, though. Sometimes when you hit a contact, you'll be able to tell like what kind of thing it is or its approximate size. Sensors in this fire starter are apparently total garbage. And the urban mech is actually remarkably slow for a light mech, which is a shame because it only has close range weaponry in it. We might see some good sprinting here from this guy. Alright, so another javelin. Fortunately, our Firestarter has 6 evasion charges. He's functionally invulnerable. It's very, very hard to hit. Alright, let's start with the Urban Mech. I'm going to have the Urban Mech sprint again. Ooh, maybe I want to wait until my other guys have gone so that they get out of the way. Yeah, alright. We'll start with the Firestarter. So down here there's a mineral field, +4 difficulty to hit units within the mineral field, but also +2 difficulty for attacks made out of the field. Honestly, 3 evasion charges into a mineral field is not too bad. The most we could get while staying in the cover forest is 1. I think this is maybe dangerous, but I'm going to do this. Oh, it doesn't quite give us flamethrower range. There's nothing we can do to get flamethrower range, actually. Yeah, I'm going to do this. This Firestarter might get into some trouble. There are definitely safer ways to go about this. I'm trying to draw the enemies out into the open here.
Special delivery.
Wow, they both hit. That's actually really good luck. Okay, they got some... Oh, they got a javelin up there. That's not ideal. Our Firestarter is probably going to have to take cover behind a building or just get the hell out of there entirely. And we're going to reserve our Urban Mech down to 3, because I think I want it to move after our other mechs. We want to clear the road first. Okay, that one's just a Locust. A Locust is like a little tiny Jenner. A Jenner is a pretty small mech, but a Locust is an even smaller version of the Jenner, and it's just not very good. I'm not afraid of that thing at all. Alright, who's in front? Steamfitter. Steamfitter's mech does not have jump jets. That's inconvenient. Alright, well, get up here as far as you can get up here, and fortunately his mech is pretty effective at these ranges. So who do we want to shoot? The 0 evasion guy who has cover, or the 1 evasion guy who doesn't? Oh, well, the 0 evasion guy is outside laser range, so never mind. This is obviously the play. And he'll strip that last point of evasion off, so it'll be even easier for Big John. Never mind. Never mind, it's handled. Sometimes you get lucky. Get multiple weapon systems hitting the same location on an enemy, and you can burn somebody down really quickly. This is a little tricky. So you see these arcing fire paths indicate that we don't have direct fire, but that we can still get where we're going with the LRMs. I would really like to have a direct fire path, but I think we're going to go for this. Now, with non-laser weapons, we do have limited ammunition. We are going to have to pay attention to that. But these Centurions were apparently built with long battles in mind. 16 shots from the autocannon is probably more than we need. And we might, in fact, want to rebuild them a little bit and reallocate some of that weight. We could pull out one of the ammo bins and have it replaced with something else. Maybe a little bit more armor or something. And I think we're going to have the Urban Mech just sprint as fast as it can. Boy, it's never going to get to the battle. Holy crap. Look at this thing. What a goofy looking little mech. And a lot of mechs only have just like the 2 legs and functionally no arms. You can see that's pretty much the design of a Locust, also of a Jenner. But a lot of the ones that only have 2 legs, that only effectively have 2 limbs, are built in such a way that they look a little bit more like an ostrich or something. You know, a shape that makes a little bit more sense without arms. The Urban Mech is just hardcore goofy looking. Let's see, we can get to a position where I can fire my AC-10 at least. Although, at that range, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense to even bother. Let's see, we can double move to a position where we have cover. We don't quite have flamethrower range, though. So we have cover in the trees, and also that guy can't shoot me from his position. He'd have to move forward. But I kind of want to engage the flamethrower, you know. And I don't think flamethrowers miss. I think you always get the heat as long as you fire. But maybe I'd be smarter to just like try to play it real safe here. Could run over here and try to hide. No, I'm gonna double move into cover and we'll just shoot at him with the lasers. Or maybe I won't even shoot. Yeah, you know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move forward into this cover position. We're gonna generate a little bit of evasion. And then instead of firing, I'm just gonna brace. So the cover is giving him 20% damage reduction, and the guarded is giving him another 20%. And the Jenner has decided it's not worth losing all that damage. Let's just go shoot at the big mech instead. To be perfectly honest with you, I can't imagine what he's thinking. This is a terrible, terrible strategy. Let's go ahead and reserve down. Again, I want the Centurions to move and kind of clear the way before we do anything else.
You have orders?
I think we're going to keep firing at... Oh, that was weird. The game just minimized for some reason. I think my plan is to keep firing at the Javelin up on the hill. So I would like to find a position where we have a clean, direct shot on him. That's not clean. He's got the rocks as cover. You can see the place where the firing line turns dark is where our vision is somewhat interrupted by a terrain feature or something. Yeah, there's no place for me to get a clean line of sight on him. All right, well we'll take this screwed up line of sight then. I do still want to get to fire at the AC-10. And I think, you know what, we can just go ahead and precision strike. Get ourselves a reasonable chance of actually landing the shot, and we'll go straight to his... Well, how many lasers would we take off if we broke this? 2 of them? One of those lasers is already damaged. So in the orange damaged state, it has taken a hit, it's less accurate, but it still fires. If we aim to this side instead, we can maybe shear off the rest of his weaponry. No, I'm just going to go center. Let's just try to kill it.
Locking on target.
Okay, I missed entirely with the big gun. Got enough missiles in to break off the arm, though. It's a pretty good start. He's a lot less dangerous, for sure.
Engaging target.
Alright, so, there are yet more mechanics. See this yellow bar underneath his underneath all his other stuff? This is his stability bar. Once he's built up enough stability damage to go past the little white mark, he is said to be unstable. In the unstable state, he loses some of his defensive capabilities, and he can be knocked down if we fill the bar entirely. We are not going to be able to do that. We just don't have the weapons. We could take an okay AC-10 shot. I guess I will. This guy's gotten up pretty close. We'll probably be able to shoot him soon.
Roger that. Firing on target.
Not a great shot. That mountain's going to feel it in the morning, though. Alright, sadly the Locust gets to go first. Okay, but it did not move very far. Taking this opportunity to fire at the Centurion from a position where it believes the Centurion cannot retaliate.
Waiting on you, Commander.
But we don't need to. We have a better play. So we're going to throw a great big robot punch here. The Firestarter has position to just run up on this guy and punch him square in the face. And when you throw a punch, any weapons that are of the support class get to fire after your punch. So all of our flamethrowers and both of our machine guns. We have an 80% chance to punch him for a solid 45 damage. And while the punch does less damage than the pair of medium lasers that we are not getting to fire, there's a significant value in doing single large chunks of damage because you can guarantee that all the damage is going into the same part of the enemy.
Waiting on you, Commander.
2 medium lasers might be 25 damage to 2 different places, which is obviously not all that great. Let's just close in as much as possible. It's not a very good shot, but we're taking it now while he's still unable to act.
Special delivery.
Alright, Tire Fire, we're gonna put you in some training sims. She's gotta learn how to operate the thing. Okay, this guy only has 2 functional lasers remaining. Yeah, not exactly terrifying. We should have no problem at all putting this thing away. Let's just have the Centurion find... Ooh, having a little bit of trouble finding a direct fire spot. He's actually really good at manipulating the rocks in front of him, keeping our eyes off of him a little bit. Well, we can get him from here. Our shot's pretty bad. Maybe I just want to put that thing down? Yeah, now that he's partially disarmed, he's less of a threat. And he wasn't much of a threat to begin with. Let's see about just crushing the Locust. Okay, pretty good shot. That shot sheared that mech completely in half. So we get, I mentioned it a little bit, We get different amounts of salvage based on how we destroy the enemy mech. If we destroy their center torso, there's only one piece of salvage available from that mech in the post-battle looting. But since there were two different javelins, if we just kill them both with center torso damage, we can put together a functional javelin at the end. So we're going to overheat if we fire like this, thanks to the desert climate. I'll just turn off the missile launcher. It was probably going to miss at this range anyway. And in fact, let's go for a precision strike. Let's see if we can just wrap this up. Get all those hit chances nice and high.
Target acquired and locked in.
Okay, easy enough.
Tango down.
Let's get home and collect our pay. There aren't a lot of ways to deal with a properly laid ambush other than wandering into it, so people hire us to wander into their ambushes. Alright, I think we're probably just going to take 2 pieces of a javelin. I mean, 30-ton mechs are not great, but we really just need to expand the number of mechs we have in total. And we'll get some of this garbage as non-priority salvage. Let's just see if we can build a javelin. Alright, we also got 3 medium lasers, a heat sink, 3 jump jets. Yeah, it's all fine. It's all stuff we need. They start you with very, very little in the campaign. And none of our mechs actually took any structure damage there, so we are able to just re-armor them trivially. Doesn't cost us any time or money. So we could just go ahead and roll out another job here. Let's get another thing done. This symbol here indicates that this is a travel contract. This is a contract that's actually on a different world than we're currently on, but the people giving the contract are willing to pay for our fuel costs and stuff to get over there and help them. Let's do spoiler. What's spoiler's got us up against the Capellans? We don't mind fighting the Capellans. We've been tracking a Capellan lance moving through a contested area. A few hours ago, our scouts reported another lance of unknown allegiance on an interception course. Go blow up stuff. I love blowing up stuff. So on this one, we could take home 3 pieces of salvage if we really want. I think that's probably the right thing to do. We're just going to keep negotiating in that way. Keep deploying the same team. Probably what we're going to do here is either all of the missions on this planet or missions until another one of our mechs gets damaged, and then we'll use travel to another system as time to get some guys rebuilt. I am a little bummed out that we lost the Jenner. That the Jenner took so much damage. Not that obviously we didn't lose it so early, because I do think the Jenner is probably the best damage output of our, well, I was going to say the best damage output of our little mechs, but actually, the urban mech is hard to maneuver into position, but it is powerful, and autocannon is a big deal. We got pretty lucky starting with 3 AC-10s. I'm a big fan of autocannons. Missiles are fine, lasers are fine, but nothing quite says hello like firing a hunk of metal the size of an 18-wheeler directly at somebody's face. Especially if it actually does hit their face, as we saw in that first mission. So it might make sense to hang back and see how badly they bloody each other before leaping into the fray. Darius is all about tactics, he's all about logistics and not getting the mechs blown up. I, on the other hand, am much more about blowing up mechs. Alright, there's a Capellan lance over in that area. They're going to be... I'm not sure if the enemy force is going to move on them, or if they're just going to wait... Steam fitter. So I guess let's just close up slowly. Let's get near firing range, and then wait and see what happens. In particular, the urban mech needs to take some pains to move forward. It's actually slower than our larger mechs, I think.
Bandits.
I got a little too close. If we can see them, they can probably see us. Got a leopard on radar. Looks like it's making a drop. So the leopard is the same kind of dropship that we use to put our mechs down. All right. I think I screwed up a little bit here, and what we probably want to do is actually fall back. Like, let's try to get them to run into each other. That's my plan. So there's a marsh over here. Sink into the muck a little bit. Or no, we get extra stability damage, so the marshland is slippery. That's fine. My hope there was that we would break line of sight. I guess that thing's close enough to be able to see the other mechs at this point. Ooh, hey, that's a particle cannon right there. That's the thing I don't want to see.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, there's two ways this could go. We might successfully just break line of sight and just get these guys chasing us up the hill where they'll crash into the other enemies. The other option is we might potentially just anger the other group as well and then have ourselves fighting two lances of mechs.
Plan.
I guess we'll see which one of those actually comes to pass.
Of course.
So I can speed up individual animations here by holding space, and we're going to do a little bit of that.
Full throttle.
Yes, full throttle. Okay, we've lost line of sight. Seeing new heat signatures in the field. Wow, those things came down very seriously. Right, all the enemies got to die, but they don't necessarily all have to die by my hand. So this is new, though. I'm pretty sure there weren't missions that had two different enemy forces in them last time we played. Let's get the urban mech up here on the hill. Well, I guess, actually, we probably want to commit up here so that we can choose to run up this way if we want. If I put him over here so he's closer to these guys, we're going to have a hell of a time heading upward if we decide that that is what we want to do. Okay, they are fighting. We can hear the sounds of particle cannon fire in the distance. You know what I'm going to do here? I'm just going to reserve down. We're going to let all the enemy mechs move around as much as they want during the 4 phase. We'll see where people end up. And if these guys break off too much from their comrades, we might turn around and try to crush a couple of them while the rest of them are distracted by the Merrick. Oh, it kind of looks like they're all just going for us. Well, I don't know if I think that's a good idea. Hold on, let's reserve down again.
I'll wait here for now.
Okay, nothing of the enemies moved on 3, so it is probably the case that all of the enemy mechs are tiny and weak. That being the case, maybe we do want to turn around and just ambush these guys as they come around the mountainside? Now, you know what? With our range, with our effective range, probably the thing that makes the most sense is to move up the mountain and then fire down on them as they round. And the Firestarter doesn't have much in the way of range, but the Centurions up on the hill here will do terrifying things. Let's just get you guys up there. And even before we have proper line of sight on the enemies, we could be...
Awaiting orders.
Before we have direct line of fire on the enemies, we could be hitting them with the LRMs and stuff. I like this position a lot more. Okay, so it's representing one of the enemy forces with an X. Think they're veering off, maybe? Seems a little strange for the camera to zoom in on a part of the battle map we can't actually see. Is that a punching sound? I wonder if this was a 4-mech lance, one of them broke off that way and just got slugged.
Waiting on you, Commander.
I'm going to reserve down again. I don't think we need to do anything right this second. Yep, those are punching sounds. We have enemy mechs in melee combat. Let's see how many of these guys break off the pursuit. Yeah, they're focusing up there. So, okay, I think what we're going to do is run up the hill. Let's crush this guy real fast, and then fire down the hill at all these dudes with our long-range missile batteries. We don't necessarily have to get involved in any being shot at all here. Although I guess we know one of them has a particle cannon, so some of them have pretty impressive range. Yeah, I guess just move up to here. Let's get vision on whatever this is. Movement through the marshlands is a little bit less than ideal. Okay, they have a Jenner. A Jenner with 4 evasion. I think I'm going to go ahead and shoot just to peel one of the evasion charges. Okay, wasn't actually expecting to get a hit there, but that's not too bad.
You have orders?
Yeah, the frontmost guy needs to move up. Oof, that's a bad shot. I think, again, we're just going to use Steam Fitter to try to strip an evasion charge. So let's not fire all of the weapons here. We would like to have no heat at all generated. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll hit with the AC-10.
Locking on target.
Alright, some of the missiles made it in at least. He's down to 2 evasion. The urban mech is not going to be able to participate in this no matter what we do. We can generate a pretty bad shot here. And I think I'm going to go for a precision strike. We can push a couple of the hit chances of our weapons here up to a reasonable value.
All weapons committed.
Okay, we stripped a couple of his lasers off. That's something.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
And now that he's down on 3, we can get him with the fire starter and maybe even the urban mech on this next turn before he has a chance to retaliate. So the enemies, I believe, always get to move first in any phase where you and the enemies both have mechs. But they go, then we get one, then they get one, then we get one. So we will... It's a little more complicated when there's multiple forces, obviously. But we will get to push on this Jenner right now because we have the initiative advantage. Oh, interesting. So they have a spider using jump jets to take up a sniping position and apparently do some real damage. It's impressive considering that spider just has 2 tiny little laser guns, two medium lasers. Not very impressive weaponry at all. So we sheared off his right. We really want to be firing into the right side of him. All right, we're going to engage our jump jets. As you can see, jump jet move ignores terrain, get a pretty serious distance on it. But the downside, of course, is that the jump jets are big fires that are attached to your mech. So jumping generates quite a lot of heat. We've also come down in this rough terrain, and we do not have a lot of stability, but I'm fairly confident we're going to be able to just kill this Jenner straight up.
Take this.
We did not quite.
Yeah.
All right.
Critical hit.
So his pilot took some damage there. We blew off a bit of the torso of the mech, which causes 1 point of damage to the pilot. You can see our pilot health bars down below their portraits. Starting pilots, really early pilots, always only have 3 health. Oh man, I can't get any shots that matter, and there's no way I'm going to hit a spider with 4 evasion charges. I'm just going to have the Irby sprint a little bit more here.
Got it.
Maybe he'll be able to do something fun next turn. But you can disable a mech by simply killing the pilot. There's a thing that is possible sometimes. It won't happen a lot in these lighter mechs, because lighter mechs are so fragile comparatively that it's very hard to do enough things that damage a pilot without accidentally scrapping the mech on the way there. That guy's in bad shape. And then sadly the Jenner gets to go first in phase 3. Which means it gets to build up some new evasion charges, but we're close. We're close to having it dead here. It should be this round, I think. How much? Okay, it was only able to move enough to get 2 charges. We can probably just kill it with the with either of the Centurions here, so as not to worry about it having another turn. So let's just get. So we're firing into. Man, odds are not as good as I would like. So we're firing into the right side, so all the damage is just going to go straight through to the center. Turn on the medium lasers, and do I want to burn Precision Strike? We're at 30 resolve right now. You can see in the tooltip there, if the bar's over 50%, all of your mech warriors just get plus accuracy on all of your attacks for free. So I kind of want to let it build up. I think we're just going to take the bad shot. I'm going to turn off the LRMs, because those are effectively wasted here anyway. Okay, we got a torso hit, but the other laser went to the leg, which is pretty non-ideal. I guess we'll just move. I would really like to be shooting into that right side, but it looks like we can't really hook that up. I'm going to put my Centurion up here. Maybe this is unwise, but I want vision of what's going on down there. So we have a Panther. The Panther is carrying that particle cannon that we saw earlier. Particle cannon does a lot of damage when it hits. And then, are we just gonna... Yeah, I'm probably just gonna blast this guy. I'll turn off the LRMs again. If we fail to kill him here, it'll be kind of embarrassing.
Engaging target.
But I think... Wow. Wow, all of the weapons missed. Well, that was a surprise.
No damage detected.
What I was gonna say there is I really think we want to try to build up to 50 resolve. Our pilots are so inaccurate right now that persistent aim bonus would be really helpful. Okay, they chose not to move the Jenner first. The Merrick Force went with their Spider first. This guy's still in terrible shape, and we still have mechs right up on top of him to take advantage of it.
Waiting on you, Commander.
Let's have you run right up there. And actually, do we want to just punch him? I think I just want to punch him. Make sure we're punching him from that side. Run up, throw a nice big punch, and then fire all of the machine guns in. Or kick him, you know, whatever. Okay, problem solved. And then we just have a little go-off party. Victory fireworks. Alright, that has pushed us over the inspiration threshold. Panther's getting... Okay, every time you hit the enemy mech's head, it injures the pilot. Mechs do not have super tough heads. Often, it doesn't matter that a headshot injures the pilot because it also destroys the head of the mech. But I think he hit him with a little missile weapon, so it's not quite enough to take it clean off. Alright.
Tell me what to do. Bang!
Wow.
You're dead.
That was big. That was a big hit. You know, those autocannons. It takes a little while to maneuver the urban mech into position, but boy, it does the job. So unfortunately, I think we've now cleared out the entire... Well, we and the Capellans have cleared out the entire Merrick Lance. So no more distractions. Now it's a much more straight-on battle. That's fine. We're well outfitted for a straight-on battle with mechs of this caliber. Let's get down here and just open up on the Panther. And I don't think we'll bother aiming here. Let's just keep our inspiration. So we got lucky there. We blew off the arm that carries the PPC. Which means this guy is now just a single missile launcher. Really doesn't have the capacity to do meaningful damage anymore. That was a really good hit. Let's move up here. We can get vision of that down there is a Commando 2D, so 10 short-range missiles and a medium laser. I think we'll just put the LRMs into the Panther. It's stuck in position, it can't really do very much about this. It doesn't have any evasion or anything. Try to get some damage on there. Alright, and as long as we can maintain this kind of positioning where we're probably going to be able to keep them focused on the Centurions, I don't think we're in a tremendous amount of danger. Can we get a clean shot on the Panther? I would love to finish it off. Where do those jump jets get us? Ooh, the jump jets get us really deep. Maybe too deep? You can see the jump will give us a lot of evasion. The mech will be moving really fast. But also, obviously, I don't want to expose myself to too much nonsense. I think this is probably the right jump.
Taking the high road.
His right arm's off, so we'll be channeling damage directly into his center. We've actually almost run out of ammo in the flamethrowers. That's fine. Battle's pretty much over. Do we want to just turn them off here? I think I do. We're not too worried about overheating this guy. This is going to be a kill-through damage.
Special delivery.
Alright, one more piece destroyed. Yeah, not very dangerous. So he has 55 structure and 20 health on that center section. Honestly, at this point, we could probably just ignore him in favor of picking off the other targets, except for the fact that a lot of our mechs don't actually have the ability to hit the other targets. We cannot find a spot. We do have a jump jet. There we go. This is what I want. I want to be able to shoot into his right quadrant.
Got it.
I guess this does give the urban mech a shot on that commando down there, but I'm not taking that extremely unlikely shot. With 80 resolve, we could go for the precision strike and still be at the 50-point threshold. So let's go ahead and just drop this directly into him. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, that's a shame. We hit the leg. It was the only place where that shot could have landed that wouldn't have nearly killed him. Alright, so this commando's stepping back to be able to use its one laser on us. Boy, they have a really short-range lance, aside from the Panther. I mean, at this point, the Panther's not a long-range mech anymore, I guess. God, this game looks cool. I'm just a real sucker for mech stuff. Alright, well, let's actually put the Panther away, or not. You know what, now that these guys are moving slower and actually shooting at us, they're a lot more vulnerable. Let's get you over here and start picking them off. So is it all Commando 2Ds? It is. Weird. Guys damaged a little bit already. Wow, that was a hell of a shot.
That's a kill.
So I believe your weapons fire in the order that they're listed here. Sometimes that order matters quite a bit. It's nice to have the high damage weapons go first so that they can shear off parts of the enemy in that way. I wanna get a nice clean shot off on this guy with his not being guarded and everything. I didn't really want to get this close because this is going to put the Centurion in range to actually get shot at by the enemy, but I do want to get to apply all the weapons. Well, maybe we'll leave the LRM-10s off. Yeah, because I want to be able to do stuff like that. Unfortunately, the laser is the least damaging of his three weapon systems. It's not really the one we'd want to remove, but removing a weapon, removing the worst weapon is better than failing to remove any weapon, I suppose.
I hear ya.
Alright, Tire Fire, can you do anything other than hit that Panther? You can get up here and take a slightly obstructed shot on that guy. It's still actually a pretty good shot. That's remarkably solid. Why is that so good? Oh, right, height difference. Having the high ground is really, really valuable, and I really have the high ground.
Time to die.
Okay, nice clean shot directly to the center.
I hear ya.
I like Tire Fire. Tire Fire might be the only member of our starting crew here who I like at all. Let's see, we could jump. This thing has tremendous jump jet capability. We could get really deep here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's, like, really light this guy up. So here's my plan. We're going to jump in on him, we're going to turn the flamethrowers back on, we're going to use a precision shot to lower his initiative, and this way, even if we don't get him this round, the flamethrowers get to fire before he gets his turn next round, and he will be probably unable to do anything except run away for fear of melting down. And then at some point we can finish off this Panther. Obviously, it's not a high priority.
Well, their targeting skills aren't impressive.
Alright, maybe I'm coming around on Steam Fitter a little bit. I think we just let this guy have it. Okay, some good damage to the leg. We've removed most of his weapons.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
We'll get there.
How might I help?
And Steam Fitter, why don't you just throw a great big 70 damage punch at this guy? So as mechs get bigger, they punch harder and harder. Knocked off the whole left side of that robot. Does he have... No, he has no weapon systems left. In fact, he almost has no functional body left. Yeah, all he can really do is just hurl himself at us. Panthers actually
Minor damage.
melee pretty hard for a mech of their size, so it's not like that was totally ideal to get hit by him, but something tells me we'll live.
All weapons are go.
Okay. Even if he had survived the initial hit there,
Did you see it?
his heat gauge was going to be so high. Just your trampoline heard me say that thing about tire fire, and he was like, oh, I want the commander to like me too. Do we not have a clean shot here? Oh, the problem might just be facing. Yeah. There is a clean shot, but I'm not looking in the correct direction. Well, make it happen.
This should be good.
Alright, as you can see, these one skull and lower missions, not a particular challenge. We are well up to the task. We're definitely going to when we leave this planet, we're definitely going to go to a planet where the missions are a little bit more complicated. Difficult, obviously, but also complicated. You know, when you're fighting larger mechs, there's just a lot more to consider. All right, so 100,000 C-bills, that's fine. We'll get to pull some body parts out of the wreckage here. Honestly, I don't know. We don't have a Commando 2D, and we would eventually like to have one of everything. So why don't we just take 3 pieces of Commando 2D? We also got a chunk of a Jenner, a chunk of a Panther, a chunk of a Spider, some basic weapons. Okay. All pretty standard loot. So that's BattleTech. That's what BattleTech is, obviously. The battles will get more difficult. They'll get weirder. We'll get cooler mechs with bigger guns. But that's sort of the core loop. Do battles, repair your stuff, fly around to space to find more places to do battles. Before we leave here, I want to check one more thing before we call it for the day. Let's step into the mech bay real quick and just see what weapons we have. We probably started with some tech here. Looks like, no, not really. We have flamethrowers, we have a bunch of medium lasers already, which is nice. You end up using a lot of medium lasers. They're just very, very solid, efficient weapons. Okay, so we just have the stuff that we've already got equipped, effectively. Okay, 1,200 days remain. No time passes at all, except when we're traveling. But I'll show you the map here real quick. You can spend a lot of time on travel. Oh, announcing Star Map 1.7. Whether for trade, settlement, or military expedition, traveling via our patented KF drive should have no surprises. Comstar is proud to announce the updated MercNet Star Map interface. Ooh, store filters. Oh, they added filters to the map. That's actually super nice. Now with 50 more system destinations, rich with potential conflict, new star indicators lets you see where you have been. That's going to be very helpful. And where you have yet to explore. Okay. Members of our Platinum and Uranium level plans will find the new filter features in the upper right of the interface. If you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to contact your local Comstar representative and we'll get you locked in. Any word that is orange has mouse over text. The world of BattleTech is huge and very complex. People have been writing stuff for this setting for like 50 years at this point? 40-ish? I don't know. A long time. So there's a lot of lore and text. We will totally read some of it. Yeah, so this is the star map. The galaxy's a big place, and many of the planets have a much higher challenge than the one that we're on now. Itram, for example. Probably not a place we're going in the immediate future. But, yeah, we'll head out. We'll find some more people to blow up, some more lucrative people to blow up in the near future. But that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. The intention with this series is for there to be a new hour of gameplay every weekday, so come back next time, tomorrow, for more explosions. And we'll see you then.